Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to This Week in Renewables, episode 25, your bite-sized roundup of the renewable stories over the last 7 days. Wind, hydropower, solar, anything renewables I discuss. I'm your host, Mr. Deji Ogunsola, the voice you can trust. As always, all the good stuff, don't forget to like, comment and share, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on podcast format, Spotify or Anchor. It really does help with the visibility, so it is always appreciated. As you can see, I'm not in my usual settings today, thank you Mr. Boris. But for those who are unaware, in the UK, we have been ordered to work from home where possible. So that's why I'm at home, and you can see the wonderful Christmas tree for those who are watching visually. I don't take credit for the Christmas tree, I must say that was at the hands of my wife, who's lovely decorated that tree. But anyway, no excuses, we keep up the consistency and the regularity. So today we're going to start off with some offshore wind, because I don't think I've covered that in a while, more on the onshore side. But some news here coming by way of Australia, and Australian developer by the name of Nexphere. They are planning to build a offshore wind farm between 500 megawatts and 1 gigawatt in the Bass Strait between Tasmania and mainland Australia. Formerly known as Brookvale Energy, the company is planning to build the wind farm project on the northeast Tasmania, and would generate enough electricity to power 325,000 homes. Australia has identified the Bass Strait region as one of the top options for offshore wind energy generation in the country by the National Blue Economy Cooperative Research Centre. This was commented by the Tasmanian government. So only a small bit of information on that particular project, but I will keep you updated on any news that I come across in that particular article. I forgot to mention as well, since I'm at home, I've also forgot my usual mic setting, so apologies in advance if the audio is not to its usual quality. I do apologise, but I will be returning to the office this week to go and pick up my mic equipment so I can continue to record from home. Back to This Week in Renewables, and this time on the onshore side, German asset manager Prime Capital. They have reached commercial operation of its 254 megawatt Stavro wind farm in northern Sweden. The project itself features 62 Siemens Gamesa 4.1 megawatt turbines. Some of the power generated by the wind farm will go to Google's Hamina data center in Finland. The timber processing industry in the region will also receive output from the Stavro wind farm, as commented by Prime Capital. So really interesting news. We have a wind project in Sweden with a German asset manager, which is going to help Google and also help the timber industry in Finland. So yeah, really good news. Really interesting to see how that project progresses. Some more news on the onshore wind side, and RWE. They have been given consent for a 55 megawatt Scottish wind project, so a bit closer to home. Bit more information about this particular news story. Scottish ministers have given the green light to the German energy company RWE for the project, which is to build up to 54.6 megawatt wind farm near the Fosso in Caithness. And specifically, RWE has obtained planning consent for the Strathie Wood onshore wind farm, which will comprise a total of 13 turbines with a maximum tip height of 180 meters, 590 feet to be precise. Recently commented by Jodie Gunn, who is the head of Scotland's UK onshore wind development at RWE. We now look forward to working together with communities and the supply chain on the next steps of the project, and realising the potential environmental economic benefits it could bring for Scotland. So again, congratulations to RWE. We're really keen to see how this project progresses. Final bit of onshore news today, and this time coming from Rio Tinto, who have broken ground on the Madagascar wind PV project. Rio Tinto, Madagascar Minerals, and Cross-Boundary Energy have laid the foundation stones for a 8 megawatt solar and 12 megawatt wind plant that will supply the QMM imminent mine operations in Fort Dauphin in southern Madagascar. Cross-Boundary Energy is building the project, with QMM having signed a 20-year power purchase agreement with the company. The solar component will be operational in 2022 and the wind farm component operational in 2023. So really interesting to see the combination of both solar and wind here. The project itself will also include a 8.25 megawatt lithium battery energy storage system. Around 18,000 solar panels and 4 wind turbines will enable QMM to meet all its electricity needs during peak periods and up to 60% of its annual electricity consumption. The project will also reduce QMM's annual carbon dioxide emissions by approximately 26,000 tonnes and reduce its heavy fuel purchase by up to 8,500 tonnes a year. So really interesting project there, coming by way of Madagascar. Moving swiftly on to the solar sector. A bit of news here. I was looking what to share. Startkraft, I believe we've talked about them several times before. They have signed a power purchase agreement with Foresight Solar to take power from the latter's most 100 megawatt Spanish solar portfolio. The 10-year offtake deal covers 3 subsidiary-free greenfield assets located in the Andalusia region that were acquired by Foresight in December 2020. So last year to be precise. The portfolio is on track to be operational by June 2022. The PPA provides Foresight Solar with a 10-year fixed price for around 70% of the portfolio's annual production and increase the company's earning visibility. Foresight Director, Mr. Ross Driver, said, "We are delighted to have secured this PPA with Startkraft. It secures an attractive level contracted revenues for our Spanish portfolio over a 10-year period and represents another significant milestone in the development of Foresight Solar international operations." So congratulations to all those involved, and interesting to see how this progresses. A bit more other news coming from the solar sector, and this time coming from Spanish company Energia. They are to sell 5 solar farms in Spain, totaling 373 megawatts to Natigi for 62 million euros. Ence Energy said that the asset rotation operation has been carried out with the aim of it continuing to invest and grow renewable energy businesses and to support the guarantee of the electricity system supply. The company said it will reinvest the 62 million gained in new projects, focusing on renewable energy generated by biomass and solar, as well as energy storage. ENTS will continue to participate in the construction of the 5 facilities, which will be located in Huelva, Seville, Jaén, and Granada. So that's give you a bit of news there on the solar side of things. I think one more news on the solar, or actually I'll move on to a bit of hydropower news, last and not least. Andritz Hydro, they are being announced as being contracted alongside 3 local companies with regards to the modernization and upgrade of 9 hydropower stations in Mexico. Just to give you a list of the companies involved, Andritz together with Genomix, Hydro Projects and Cesia was selected for the major contract by Comisión Federal de Electricidad, Mexico's national utility. The scope of supply includes design, manufacturing, supply, transportation, erection, testing and commissioning of 29 generators, 17 turbines, 21 transformers, turbine generators, SCADA supervisory control and data acquisition system control, excitation and protection systems, as well as the electrical power associated auxiliary systems. The contract itself is scheduled to begin this month, and commissioning is to be completed by February 2027. So a good 6 years or 5 years left on that particular project, and you'll be sure to hear any updates from me with regards to that work in Mexico. Some final news on the hydropower sector side of things, this time coming by way of GE. They are to provide the O&M support for the Hydropower hydro plant in Brazil. So GE Renewable Energy Hydro Systems is to provide full operational and maintenance services for the 210 megawatt Hydropower hydroelectric plant in Rio Grande, Brazil. GE was one of 5 projects. GE, was one of the project's main suppliers during its construction and installation. Under the new contract, GE will be responsible for the O&M of all 5 hydroelectric generation units at the plant, each of which will provide 42 megawatts. To execute the contracted scope, GE will operate the plant 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in addition to the day-to-day operation. GE's team is also going to be responsible for defining and executing the entire plant maintenance plan, from routine activities to predictive and preventive actions, as well as unplanned maintenance. So that sums up this week in renewables. They've given you a bit of onshore, a bit of offshore wind, a bit of solar, and lastly but not least, a bit of hydro. As always, thank you very much for listening and watching in. Don't forget to like, comment and share. As I said, it really does help with the visibility. All your recommendations are appreciated. I've been your host, Mr. Deji Ogunsola. As always, keep it clean, keep it green. Thank you very much. Take care. Goodbye.